Hi again then guys, and welcome to another Forza Horizon 3 speed build. This time we've got some KDM, or Korean daily motors. One of my personal favourite tuner cars, the Hyundai Genesis Coupe. I must admit though, I do prefer the slightly older version, the pre-facelift. I think it looks better, but maybe that's just me. I know a lot of people do like the newer one more. It's certainly a quicker vehicle, and speaking of quick, this car really is quick. Now, as far as conversions go, I would recommend having that V8. It's not the most powerful of engines in the game, but it really does give this car some great performance. As far as the drivetrain, I would recommend all-wheel drive. Some people might not want that. That's down to personal preference, of course. Just don't fit it if you don't want it. I would also recommend, of course, the twin-turbo. And as far as the rest, like rims, wings, that's down to you. I would not recommend having the racing front or rear wing, or necessarily the roll cage, because you just don't need them for this straight line build. Apart from that though, just fit everything with race in the name. So increase the power, lower the weight, good tyres, all that kind of stuff. You know the drill. And then as far as the tuning, which of course first of all leads us to the benchmark, 2.2 to 60, that's pretty good. 5 seconds to 100, also pretty good. 262 flat out, that's some pretty serious territory. That's quicker than some of the GTRs. That's impressive, but the Hyundai Genesis is actually always a seriously quick car on any game that it's featured on. Now, as far as the gearbox, I would recommend a final drive of 2.9, as you can see, then again 2.9 for first, then 2, 1.5, 1.17, 0.95 and 0.78. For alignment, we've got neutral camber and toe with 4 degrees of caster on this one. Anti-roll we've got on 33 and 19. Springs on 181 and 175. I've opted for the lowest ride height. You don't necessarily have to do that. It's mainly just for the visuals. For dampers, we've got those on 15, 13, 7 and 6. Aero doesn't apply. And for the diff, as I usually do, we've got 100% on acceleration, 0 on decel, but feel free to change those around. I know that doesn't work for everyone, that's just my personal driving style. And for this one, we've actually gone a little bit more to the centre than we usually would. 68% is not as tail happy as we would often have. That's the sweet spot as far as benchmark goes. If you don't mind losing a bit of benchmark speed, for the sake of handling of course, then by all means take it higher, or even lower if you want to as well. Now this tune is on my storefront, so you can use the keywords in the video description to find it. But for now, let's actually take it out on the street to see what it's capable of. Now, there are some vehicles on pretty much any game, but for now Forza Horizon 3, that, and I've mentioned this before, take a little bit longer to get to the quoted speed. Sometimes they can even get higher than the benchmark, but they just take a bit longer to get there. This isn't completely one of those cars. It does definitely get up to that speed, but it does 0 to 240 pretty well. To 250 takes a little bit longer, and to get it up around 260, which it can do as you can see here, it takes a bit longer. You do need a nice long straight section, ideally less traffic. It can get there, but it takes a little bit longer. So as far as the benchmark goes, there's some pretty solid numbers that you're running. And although you are bouncing around on the red line at that speed, it can get there. So performance is great, especially for its power, and even with the 68% split, it still is a very, very drift-happy vehicle. So if you decide to use this car and this tune or some variation of it, you're definitely going to have a lot of fun with it. And of course, if you like this, there are plenty more tunes on the channel. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.